Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Thursday. And today we are going to be doing, students will be able to identify figurative language. So I am so excited because not only are we going to learn more about figurative language, which we've been learning as we've been reading Love That Dog and all the poems, but now we're also going to get to play a game. So remember, I want you to have your anchor charts in front of you, the ones that we did for simile, metaphors, personification, onomatopoeia, and a metaphor. So remember, a simile compares two things using the words like or as. He is as fast as a rabbit. Boys and girls, do they mean literally you could be as fast as a rabbit? No, right? They're comparing you to being very fast, right? If you ever see a rabbit running away, my goodness, they are very, very fast. Personification, it says to describe non-human things used in human qualities. The leaves dance in the wind. Boys and girls, can the leaves really dance in the wind? No. What is the actual meaning of this? That means they're flying away, right? It's probably very windy outside. Metaphor, to compare two things using the words is or are. Her smile is the sun. Boys and girls, can a person really have a smile that is the sun? No, that is a metaphor. It's comparing it that it's very bright. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to identify figurative language and we're going to explain the use of figurative language. How are we going to do that? We're going to ask, does this statement mean what it says? Right? And then we're going to write the literal meaning. So why is this very important, boys and girls? It's important to know why the speaker, poet, or the author used figurative language. Was it to entertain you? Maybe they used onomatopoeia, like boom, pow, to make it more interested, hook the reader. Or is it to emphasize? Were they trying to make a point? So I want you to take out your composition book, get out a new page, and I want you to label it with your name, date, and go. And I want you to put the title figurative language. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 30 seconds. So you're putting your name, date, and go. Remember, go is to get master on BWA 3. Last 20 seconds. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and get started. So I want you to copy the next question. In page 64, which is April 26th, the poet uses a phrase. Think about it and think about it and think about it until your brain feels like a squash pea. To suggest. Boys and girls, what is the poet or the speaker trying to suggest here? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to copy that, and then we're going to go back and reread that page. All right, let's go back and be a good reader and reread that page. So it says, sometimes when you're trying not to think about something, it keeps popping back into your head. You can't help it. You think about it and you think about it and you think about it until your brain feels like a squash pea. Boys and girls, does the speaker literally mean that his brain feels like a squashed pea? No, right? It's just a figure of speech. What is the author or the poet trying to tell you? They're trying to compare what? The brain to being squashed, right? Kind of like when you think about something for so long, you're so nervous, maybe about the first day of school, you just keep thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about it. Then what happens? You feel tired, right? Mentally tired, not physically, not your body. But mentally you're tired because you've been thinking all day of everything that can go wrong in the first day of school. So you're just thinking and thinking about it. So it feels like a squashed pea. That means you've been going over the same thing over and over and over again. So we're going to go ahead and write, the poet used a simile. Remember, it's a simile because it compared the brain to a squashed pea, to compare his thoughts to being smashed into his head. That means it's replaying in his head over and over again. He keeps thinking about it. So I'm going to give you a minute to copy that. So here the speaker used a simile to make the reading more interesting. To give you an example of what it feels like when you think about it for so long, over and over again. Last 20 seconds. If you've already finished, you can copy the next question. It says, the speaker uses a simile in Love That Boy to suggest. It's line 4 and line 2. So love the boy. And I gave you an example of the line. Love that boy, like a rabbit loves to run. Boys and girls, what does a simile do? I'm going to give you one more minute so that you can answer number 2. Now we know that a simile compares two things. What is the speaker comparing here? So it says, love that boy, like a rabbit loves to run. He's comparing what to what? He doesn't mean literally, right? It's a figure of speech. So I know that he's comparing two things. What are they, boys and girls? Alright, so in those two lines, love that boy like a rabbit loves to run. So boys and girls, what do rabbits like? They love to run, right? Any little noise they hear, they run away. If you're trying to grab them, they run away. So the speaker here is trying to compare that he loves that boy just as much as a rabbit loves to run. That's what they do. It's in their system. That's what they're meant to do. So here the speaker is saying, I love that boy. That means it's in his system. He just loves him so much. So we can go ahead and write, the speaker used a simile to suggest he loves a boy just as much as a rabbit enjoys to run. So great job if you wrote something similar. So he's comparing the two things, right? Just as much as a rabbit loves to run, that's the same way that he loves it. Once you finish copying that, make sure you copy number 3. The poet used a comparison of loving the dog like a bird loves to fly to suggest. So remember, we're going to be a good reader and we're going to go back. Love that dog. Inspired by Walter D. Myers. Remember, it's inspired and it's by Jack. Love that dog like a bird loves to fly. I said I love that dog like a bird loves to fly. Love to call him in the morning. Love to call him, hey there, sky. So boys and girls, he's comparing loving the dog like a bird loves to fly. What is he trying to suggest? What is the speaker trying to tell you? So I'm going to go ahead and give you 1 minute to write your response. Why did the poet compare his love for his dog to a bird who loves to fly? What is he trying to tell us? What is he trying to suggest? What clues are they, boys and girls? You have 30 seconds to write your answer. Last 5 seconds. And time is up. So boys and girls, why did the poet compare loving the dog to how a bird loves to fly? What does a bird always do? What does a bird have wings for? So they can fly. What else do? They have to fly, right? To get from one point to another, they have to fly. There are some birds that do walk, right? But most of the time, 99.999%, they have to fly. So why did the poet or speaker compare the love for his dog to a bird that loves to fly? What is he trying to suggest? So we're going to share this in class. So be ready to share that. Okay, boys and girls. So we will share the answer for number 3 when we get to class.
Okay, boys and girls, so let's go ahead and continue with the next one. And I want you to label this number 4. And I want you to write the question. What point of view does a speaker use for October 24, which is page 8? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to write the question. And then we're going to go ahead and go back to page 24. Remember, as good readers, we always go back and reread the selection. So you have 3 minutes. Remember, I write, you write. So right now you're writing the question that says, what point of view does a speaker use for October 24, which is page 8? And I'm giving you a hint. He uses he, my, and you. You have 2 minutes left to write the question. Two minutes. Remember, anything that's on my paper, you are writing. You have the last minute, 15 seconds. You have the last minute. What point of view does the speaker use for October 24? Now be very careful. If you're already going back to reread the page, be very, very careful. Last 45 seconds. $30 seconds. Make sure if you're ready, you're going back to page 8, which is October 24. Last 15 seconds. And time. Let's go back to page 24. Remember, page 8, October 24. As good readers, we always go back and reread. So October 24 says, I am sorry to say I did not really understand the Tiger Tiger Burning Bright poem, but at least it sounded good in my ears. Boys and girls, look what it says. I, my. What point of view is that? So remember, hold out your finger. The number 1. So, is that first person or third person? Good job if you said first person. So look what he says. I am sorry to say I did not really understand the Tiger Tiger Burning Bright poem, but at least it sounded good in my ears. He's talking about himself and he's talking to himself first person. So let's go ahead and go back and write that answer. So our answer, boys and girls, you're writing this answer here. It says the speaker uses first person point of view. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 minutes to write that. So we just found out, boys and girls, that the point of view was first person because the speaker used I or my. It sounded good in my ears. I didn't really understand the Tiger Tiger Burning Bright poem. Remember, anytime they use the word I don't like to go running. I like to go hiking. I like to run. I like to jump. It's first person point of view. This is my cup of coffee. This is my classroom. This is my homeroom. This is my pencil. These are my crayons. You're talking first person. You have the last minute to write this. Don't forget, your page should have your name, date, and go. You have 45 seconds. $30. I like how some of you are parking your pencil because you're finished writing and you're just waiting for the next question. So great job. Last 10 seconds. Alrighty, let's move on. Question number 5. Make sure you write this one. The reader can tell Jack is feeling blank about his poem on December 4th, which is page 17. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to copy that question. What can we tell? What can we infer? Or what can we conclude Jack is feeling about his poem on December 4th? Remember, we're thinking fast. His feelings, his actions, what he say, what was he thinking? So when I say think fast, what do I mean? Feelings, actions, what he said or what he thought. So you have the last 2 minutes and a half to write this question. The reader can tell, infer, conclude Jack is feeling blank about his poem December 4th, which is page 17. How is he feeling, boys and girls? So this is something that we need to infer. We need to conclude. You have 2 minutes. Remember, once you're finished copying the question, yes, you may go back and reread the book. And then you can write your answer. You can always write your answer, and then once we share, you can check it off with your red pen. You have 1 minute 45 seconds. What can we tell? What can we conclude Jack is feeling about his poem? Is he feeling proud? Is he feeling sad? Is he feeling joyful? How is he feeling? Shy? Remember, a good reader always goes back and rereads. You have the last 1 minute 15 seconds. Last 40 seconds. Great job to all the students who are going back and rereading this selection, because they already finished writing the question. Last 15 seconds. And time. Let's go back and reread December 4th. All right, December 4. Why do you want to typo what I wrote about reading the small poems? Remember, why did we say the speaker did this? He did them small. He wanted to emphasize or make a point, right? That they were small. It's not a poem, is it? I guess you can put it on the board if you want to, but don't put my name on it in case other people think it's not a poem. So here we can conclude, how is Jack feeling about his poem? So boys and girls, how is Jack feeling? He's saying, look what he says in stanza 2. It's not a poem, is it? So he's questioning Miss Stretchberry, saying, I don't think it's a poem. Because remember, he didn't have any periods. He didn't have any punctuation, right, at all. So he said, is that a poem? And look what he says in stanza 3. I guess you can put it on the board if you want to, but don't put my name on it in case other people think it's not a poem. So boys and girls, is he proud of his poem? He's not proud, right? Not yet, not on December 4th. So what can we infer based on Jack, just on what he just said? Don't put my name on it. So how is he feeling? He's embarrassed, right? He's embarrassed of his poem. So let's go ahead and go back and write that. So Jack is feeling embarrassed. Mrs. Stretchberry put his poem on the board. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write that. Miss Alvarado, how do you know that he's embarrassed? Well, look what he said. He said, don't put my name on it in case someone thinks that is not a poem. So on December 4th, he was not proud of his poem. He was embarrassed. But of course, we know that later on, he actually does put his name right. So later on, when he does put his name, he's actually feeling proud, right? But not on December 4th, so be very careful. So Jack, we can conclude, we can tell Jack is feeling embarrassed. Miss Stretchberry put his poem on the board. Remember, how do we know? He says, don't put my name on it. You have the last minute. So I know question 3, we're working on it on the live video. And then the next question, we're also going to work on it on the live video. So you have the last minute. In case you already finished copying the answer, you can start copying number 6. Number 6, so we're going to work on number 3 and number 6 on the live. And it says, number 6 says, what is the best summary of March 22nd? Boys and girls, am I going to write the summary of the whole book, of the whole selection? No, I am not. I'm only going to go to what page or what date? March 22nd. Let me actually put the date here because I forgot. So March 22nd is actually going to be page 46. There you go. So if you're finished with the questions, I will see you in the live. If you are not done copying the questions, you may pause the video now so that you can copy number 6. And I will see everybody in our live session. Bye, boys and girls.
For now, I want you to go to the live session. And after we finish sharing in our Do Now and checking our homework, we're going to start playing a game because I want to see how good you are with figurative language. Yes, you can have your figurative anchor chart in front of you. So I will see everybody in the live class.